Andrea Smith for CE Week TV. We're at CE Week 2015 looking at all kinds of cool new tech. One thing I think is really cool is HP's Sprout. I'm talking to Gurdave Ahluwalia with HP. And you guys have so much you're showing here. Let's start with this, stop motion.
Sure. So let me start off by saying Sprout by HP. It's not a new computer, but a new computing category. It really unleashes creativity for people like never before. Being able to go from physical to digital and back to physical worlds very seamlessly, having the ability to go from thought to expression in an instant. That's what Sprout is really all about. Let's start off with stop motion over here. Stop motion is similar to like 1920s, 1930s type of pictures, where it's like a flipbook type motion where you could see the characters being animated, even though it was sheet to sheet, right? So I'm going to quickly put something together over here. Now I'm only doing a couple of quick shots.
This is a camera above you taking pictures of it?
Yeah, it's the camera above that's doing this. Okay, so I've taken 5 frames over here. This is going to go by quick, but you'll see what stop motion really does over here, right? If you zoom in on this guy, again, you'll see, okay, these are all the frames we put together. I came back, ran that motion very quickly. Okay, the other thing I really want to show you guys is what we're doing with 3D capability. So Sprout was launched last year. Let's walk over to this side. Sprout was launched last year, and we were focusing on what we could do for 3D. Now we've got to go further with it. So what we've done over here is I've already captured this image in. So I'm going to just flick it down. The reason why I'm doing it this way as opposed to showing you everything is because I really don't want to waste your time showing you the entire full scan. Okay, it should be coming up.
These are images that you have already uploaded to the Sprout computer.
I wouldn't necessarily use the word upload it. It's more scanning in the physical object digitally so that then I could print it out. And this is an earlier version, finished printed this morning, of the 3D Sphinx. And we can do this with other objects. The reason why this becomes valuable is if you are an artist that creates sculptures for people as commissioned art, a lot of the time you end up having to wait to the 11th hour to get feedback from the person buying it on whether or not they like it, what do they want changed, etc. In this case, if you can have a 3D object virtually, share it with them, then create a model of it, you can get a lot of that addressed ahead of time prior to cutting out the piece of granite, the piece of wood, or whatever else. And that's really what we're focusing on.
So this is really for creative people, it's for designers, for artists, and it seems to be a way to make this more available to a mainstream user.
That's very much the case, but it also goes beyond that. And that is that when I show this to the consumer accounts, people on the commercial side immediately go into the approach of, oh, I can use this in my day-to-day job. If I show it to commercial accounts, regardless of the industry segment, they automatically think I can use this in my home life. So it's across the board that this works. And hopefully this will start at this time. Really, the reason why it's so versatile is because it really connects with people on how they can get those ideas out of their head. How can they communicate them more effectively? How can they collaborate a lot easier without all these things from the past that said, oh, you're no longer creative, don't even try, it's a special group of people over here.
Right.
Or, how do you get the words out on what it is that you're trying to convey? So this is the Sphinx that I captured before. Notice I've already changed the color on it. So the original color and the original texture looks like this. Going back to that artist analogy I was using before, for whatever reason, I really like the color gold and I like to do stuff in wood, right?
So you immediately see a rendering of that.
You immediately see it, I can change the textures, I can change the colors very quickly. But now the potential buyer over here doesn't like gold, doesn't like wood, and would rather have it be blue marble. So we can change the texture right here. And now we have a rendering of that. Now we can discuss, yes, we like it, we don't like it, what do we need, what are the dimensions, etc. Depending on the size of the printer would determine how big of a model we can create. In this case, the Dremel printer allowed us to, well, this is actually scaled 1-to-1, but I would not be able to create this for the yard ornament, right? Whereas an industrial printer, I could probably do something like that.
But this, to me, this gives it more of a collaborative approach. You can go back and forth very instantaneously.
It's very much a collaborative. So let's go one step further over here. a lot of consumers don't know what they want to do, why it is that they need 3D printing. Part of the problem is consumers have heard 3D printing, but what does that mean? When you're writing a story, you don't say you're story printing. You talk about story writing and, oh, by the way, I'm going to print out that story. Similar fashion, it's not about 3D printing. That's the tail end. It's about the capture. It's about the design, the manipulate, right? So in this case, I captured a generic frog mask. From here, I added the horns, and I also grew a tongue on this guy, right? So I went something from fairly generic, captured it digitally, manipulated it around in third-party software, and then from there printed it out. So physical to digital, back to physical. This allows me to express myself. This would allow other people to express themselves. Where is it that I get my inspiration from? I don't have to think something from my head, again, because I was told at a very young age I'm not creative. But now I can say, no, the frog mask spoke to me and this is what came out. That's the power of what this is.
And this actually makes you creative because it gives you the ability to manipulate these objects and just render them as you like.
So really the way I describe it is up to this point, we've been constrained by technology on being able to express ourselves, to be creative. Now technology is working for us, where it's us trying to express ourselves and technology is doing what we want it to do, right? And again, this goes across consumer to commercial and every sector in between. Imagine what this can do for children in school, trying to express themselves and what they're feeling. Engineers trying to come up with the next generation product. Government and how they can operate more efficiently. Retail chains and how they can handle stuff internally. Commercial that needs to have inventory on hand, like an oil rig, no longer needs to because now they can come up with different ways of carrying those parts because they know what they need.
All very cool innovations. Awesome stuff going on here at CE Week 2015. Gurdave Ahluwalia with HP. Thank you so much. I'm Andrea Smith for CE Week TV.
One last thing, just real quick, is if you want more information, go to sprout.com. You can find out all the information about Sprout as well as also where you can buy it locally.
Thank you.
Thank you.